Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live stream. We are live doing question time, answering your questions about game development, Unreal Engine, or anything you really want in between. We are live, so all you got to do is put your question into chat, and I'll try and answer as many questions as I can whilst we are live. So that's how it works. It's something we try and do each week. As you can see, I've tried to sort around some UI things. I'm still trying to get the chat highlight feature to work, but no one's even moaning about it either online, which is odd. Usually people moan about this stuff, but I don't get it. But hopefully everyone can hear me okay, and there's nothing weird going on here. Let me just let's change that there to hopefully that comes out nice and clear. Just sort of, I've got music in my ears. Let me just turn that down a bit. I'll turn it off completely, rather. Cool. Let me just unpin that. Excellent. Yeah, I'm still trying to get this chat highlight thing to work. Like, no one's whinging about it or anything, which is really annoying. I don't know how to get it to work. It's really, really annoying. I don't know if anyone's ever had any success with this. If you have, do let me know, because I am at a loss. I really, really want it as a feature. They said it works, but I don't see it. Yeah. See, I just don't see any way of, like, having it turned on. Really dumb. Anywho. Let's move this around a little bit so I can actually see and hear what the hell I'm going on. Yes, we are live streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick now. All three are being live streamed. And if you do not know, we are beginning our game jam on the 11th. So if you haven't yet signed up to our game jam, do go check it out. It is on itch.io. Just head over to itch, and you'll find it in the jam section. You can search for it. But this is what it looks like. Okay, we've got 112 people in there currently. It'd be good to see as many people as possible, as many games as possible. So do check it out. It is free to join. It starts August 11th. So yeah, do check that out there. Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's talk about some game development stuff. Let's talk about what people are asking here. Just close this. There we go. First question from Ahmed Shaikh. How can we be a good game developer in Unreal Engine? Man, if we all knew that answer. So, the thing to be a good game developer is, I always say you need two things more than anything, and that's patience and perseverance. Patience because games take a long time to make, and even longer still when you're new to it. So bear that in mind, okay? It does take a long time. And secondly, perseverance. You're going to get shot down and fail many times. You're going to release the game to 0 downloads, 0 purchases. You're going to start YouTube channel, which starts off with 0 streams, 0 videos, 0 audience. Like, that's going to happen. The trick is to stick with it and keep going. No one's a hit with their first thing. You're going to learn from each thing. So they're the two things to be good at game development in general. And in terms of Unreal Engine, use it every day, keep on learning and getting better at it. Okay, next question. Blaine FF, C, a game programmer new to Unreal Engine. Are global variables as bad as everyone says, even for a solo project, and why? Not necessarily bad. It's more a case of, like, your organizational needs and like you'll be missing the point of object-oriented programming if if you're doing that sort of way. There are going to be certain things that you want to have set to global variables and global parameters, but ideally you are not doing that. You're keeping them into singletons. If you are doing it in still C++, or you are accessing your own sort of manager classes and things like that. They're looking after that sort of stuff. Ideally, just for organisational purposes, more so than anything. You want to avoid something called technical debt. Technical debt is when you are making stuff and don't have the foresight to see any issues in terms of, like, if you were to make a spelling error, for example, what would be the repercussions of that? And you would spend and waste time just working through a problem when in fact it's not actually a logical problem, it's more just a human error problem. So you avoid doing that. Argument again, are game developer jobs super competitive to get? Yes, super competitive. The game industry is very large. There are lots of people that want to be in it. This is why I'm saying you have to be have perseverance and patience. Plate Clark, I've got a question. Whenever you're ready, how do you do mesh generation stuff? Like, if you had a ladder, how would you dynamically add more steps based on how long it is, or generating a roof? Yeah, okay, so if you think about what you need to have your pieces, okay? So, I wanted to make this slightly bigger. If you ever noticed, we've started doing shorts using this. I'm going to make that a little bigger. So, you need pieces first, okay? The rungs of the ladder and so on. Lack of options here. I'm just going to create one in the modeling system. So we'll just do a very simple cube grid. We'll make it fairly small. Okay, one ladder rung. And we may actually want to do a double gap there. Down. Okay. Done. Now, obviously, this is way too big. So we're going to take it up here. Scale that way down. Let's turn off the snap there. Ooh. No, it's not snap. Snap's here. I hate they've moved everything around. It's impossible to see where bloody anything is. Move that down there. That'll do. And ideally what you want is you want to have your transform baked first of all. Your pivot at where you want them to connect. So in this case, at the bottom of the rung. I don't want to do it at the top of the rung. And try to keep it a known distance as well. I didn't actually do a known distance. That was my bad. Let's undo some of this, actually. Okay. So let's scale that down to 0.2. I didn't hit the little thing. That'll do. Screw it. Bake transform. Okay. Edit pivot. Ooh. Edit pivot. Of this. There you go. Yeah, I want to bring that down. So I'm going to go to the bottom. Bring that down there. Selection. So that's the first thing. You need your mesh pieces. You need the tops, bottoms, middles, all that stuff. And if you want to dynamically generate it, you can use numerous things you can do this with. You can use it with the geometry building tools, which I don't think I've got enabled. No, I haven't. Geometry script. So you can do it with that. Alternatively, you can just build it with like a regular actor blueprint. You can totally do that too. And you just got, basically you do an iterative loop to build and add meshes to it. So in terms of our ladder here, we'll have an instanced static mesh. And we want to use our ladder piece that we made. So I'm going to copy that. Fat fingers got in the way. Yeah. Right, there we go. 120, 20, 100. That's right. So I don't know. Oh yeah, because I haven't had my. Sorry. So, I understand people may not know what an instant static mesh is. So an instant static mesh is a useful tool because if you want to make lots of static meshes, a static mesh component itself stores tons of information. It stores all this information you see here on the right. However, if all you want to do is just say, I just want this same mesh again and again and again and again, an instant static mesh will be a lot more efficient because basically all you're saying is, I want this many times over. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to add a variable and we'll do ladder height, for example. We'll do float like that. I will tell it to add an instance for each time the ladder height exceeds an amount. So on ladder height here, I'm going to drag this out and then divide it by the size or the height of my ladder piece here. So if I take this out and get the mesh that's been assigned to it, get mesh, and then get the bounds of it, that'll give me my extent, and I want to get the height of that. So I'm going to split that and divide that by there. Then I can do a for loop, and the index here will be this one, subtract 1 in there. And then all you're doing is taking your instant static mesh and you're adding instance. And you just got to give it the location you want to do. So I'm going to take this index here, multiply it, and this is a relative position. So I'm going to multiply it by the height here. And just put that in the height there. So if I make this ladder height here exposed, right, it's editable, and drag that into my scene, and then change the ladder height. Did I not compile it? No, that's right. Yeah, change this here. It should add pieces to the ladder. And that's the general understanding of how this sort of stuff works. Oh, see, we're overlapping. Oh, yeah, that's my bad. Sorry. The extent here, you need to double it because an extent, when we use the word extent, it means like the half height of it, half width. So double it by obviously 2 and use that instead as the height value. That should fix. There you go. No. Same concept for like walls, windows, things like that. So yeah, you just do things like that. And because it is all relative, it will work at different angles and things just fine. Okay. Oh, yeah, you have to add collision to it. I didn't add collision to it. We go down here. Set the block, but let's, I'm guessing, on this. Simple collision. Yep, don't have it. Collision, add box collision. Done. Yep, there you go. Okay. And if you want to do something like with more like physics-based stuff, check out a video I've done about rope bridges. That handles it there too. But with physics. It's a similar sort of concept, it's just that you have to have physics constraints to connect all the things together. Okay? So that's how that works. Okay, let me scroll up and find a different question. Hang on. Rank 10... rank 1 or McDonald. How to make a rail switch with spline or even adding rails runtime by the player. Okay, so a lot of things to consider there. So it depends on what kind of rail you want to do. Adding it by players a little bit more work than we can do tonight. As you need to be with a whole building system with splines and things like that. But if you want to do like a rail for the player to slide on, like Sonic the Hedgehog style, that is just a spline that you can get the player to sort of stick on. The let's create one. BP rail. And we'll do a spline like so. And then when the player lands or hits it, we need to tell it to start railing it. Railing it? That ain't right. Start grinding it. So we need to generate a spline mesh, which we don't have here. So let's go to modeling tools. Build one quickly. Need a box. We'll make it smaller. We'll make it 30 by 30 by 30. In fact, I'll make the height here 50. So it's a little bit taller. But the main thing is with these is, let's change actually the width here to 100. Yeah, like that. You want to make sure you've got subdivisions in it. So when you do a spline mesh, it can bend it. So you need subdivisions for that to work. So we're going to have 5 subdivisions in there. And that should be okay in there. Let's change that to lit wireframe. Yep, that's right. We want that. Okay. And then go back to our route. And the construction script here, we want to add our spline mesh. And I made it 100 wide. So let's get the length of that. Of that spline, divide that by 100 to work out how many pieces we need, and that'd be a for loop. Don't forget to subtract 1 from it because we are dealing with a 0-based value, so 0 counts as 1, so 0 base. That go into there. Then we're going to add a spline mesh component. And we are going to choose our mesh we made. If you ever wondered where they go when you make assets in modeling mode, they go into this generated folder next to the map. So you find the map, find the folder, find the developer, it's there. So just do that. Ideally move it to a location that isn't there, but name it obviously, but I'm cutting corners. Yeah, so we have this as a spline mesh, and we want to set the start and end position for it. And for that, we're going to get the spline, get location and tangent at, not spline point, get location at distance along spline, and get tangent at distance along spline. And these positions here are going to be a local space, as it says here, local space at the end. So we're going to make sure that this is set to local space too. The distance is going to be the value here multiplied by in what our length is, which is 100. So 100. And then put that into distance. And distance. And that's our start position and start tangent. The end position and end tangents are exactly the same. Except for our index here, we're going to add 1 to it. And then put in the distance. Oh, got to multiply it first. That would help. 100. And position and target. Okay, so that's the first thing. So let's make sure this works. We need to drag out our rail. There it is. Ah, looks like I've got the wrong forward direction, but we'll fix that in a second. As I drag this out, we can bend it and make a rail. Okay. Well, I've got the wrong way round, so let's just fix that. So when you add a spline mesh component, you can change which its forward vector is. So if I go down to spline mesh, forward axis, probably Y in that case. No, that ain't right. That's very wrong. Why is it doing that? Let me just check out what we've got with this thing. It's negative Y. Oh, okay. That's a pain in the ass. You know what? Screw it. Let's actually fix it. I'll show you how to fix it as well. Ooh. So, I want it to be X forwards. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to modeling mode. Go to the edit pivot. Turn that around. Like that. No. Oh, wait, no. Hang on. Make transform in that rotation. There we go. There we go. Rotate it around, not the pivot. And you get that. Okay. That's looking a bit better, but obviously I've got to change it back now to X as the forward vector. Let me change it to X. There we go. It's overlapping a bit though. It's overlapping a bit. That's why it looks all weird and bumpy. What's going on there? Oh, one thing I forgot to do is with the tangents, clamp them. Clamp vector size to the size of the width of the piece, so 100. Do that for that one as well. So if you ever see your spline mesh like twisting and turning, that's usually the cause of it. As you see now, it's a lot cleaner now. Yeah, it's better. Okay, so there is our rail we're going to do. Okay, yeah, so then when you hit it with a hit event, you want to, usually you want to check to see like, hey, are we landing on it rather than just walking into it, but we'll skip that step for a second. Instead, I want to attach my character to it and start grinding it. So we'll make a function called start grinding. And on the hit event, we'll do start grinding. And we're going to send the other actor across to it. So start grinding. I guess we don't actually need... no, I don't know. I guess we want to start grinding on the character, not on here, I guess. Hang on. First person, win first person game, so we're dealing with it. In here we'll have a start grind movement. And in here we want to know what rail we're grinding. BP rail. Well. Back on the rail here. Other cast to first person character. And we're going to turn to start grinding. And the rail will be self. Okay. On the start grind, we need to know a couple of things. One is whereabouts are we on the spline mesh already? And then tell our character to automatically move along that direction. So first of all, let's get our location on the spline. So we need to get the spline. And then from there, you want to get the closest point. Not closest point, closest, nearest. You know what they called it. Closest, I thought it was closest. Yeah. Find, no, not get, find, whatever. Find location closest to world location. So you put that in there, and you put in the world location of your player, so get actor location. And then the coordinate space you want to output is going to be, I guess you could do world, in this case, not a big deal. And here we'll find us the spline point we want to attach ourselves to. So let's go ahead and start grinding that. We'll promote that to a rail variable there. Yeah. So that's the location. We want to set our actor location to that. If you're doing like a montage or anything landing on the rail, you can use motion warping. Or you can use some lerping to move it correctly to it, but I'm just going to snap it to it. Yeah, so that will attach us to the point on the rail. Next is movement. So movement's going to work slightly differently when we're grinding. So on the move tool here, we've got move. I basically only want to do this if rail here is not valid. If it's not valid, it means I'm not grinding. So we'll put that in here. Oop. Otherwise, I want it to always trigger the grind. So on the event tick, we need to check to see if we've got a rail. And if we do, I want to move along that rail. So we're going to do add movement input. Can't spell. There we go. Add movement input to that. The world direction is going to be the world direction of the rail position. So here we can find the direction closest to world location. And that again be actor location. And plug that into the world direction. Okay. So, if I bump into this thing, oh, we never had a collision on it. Rail. Display mesh component. Collision presets. We want to block all. Yeah, block all. Or not. Oh, maybe the mesh doesn't have a collision profile. Hold on. Hold on. Let's add a box collision around it. There you go. Okay. Well, I'm on it. Why is it not grinding? Player character, start grind. Also, I only want to do start grind if rail does not already exist. So let's do that back here too. It might be just hitting it multiple times. And also, the collision I want to turn off as well whilst on it, if it's not valid. So, and then the rail here, collision enabled. We'll just turn that off for now. There you go. Okay. Another thing we need to do is change our movement mode to flying so we can go up on the rail. So let's go back to our start grind. Character movement. Set movement mode to flying. Like that. Yeah, there you go. So yeah. Let me do that. Okay, so that is basically how the rail works. If you want them to leave the rail, if you are changing, I guess actually you want to change to overlap. So when the end overlap, you can just detach yourself from it. Jumping should still work too on it. I should mention. I have to double check. Should still work. Oh, it won't because I'm flying. Yeah, do some custom launch stuff. But yeah, there we go. So we can do stuff like that. If I want to do the end overlap to come off of it, we need to change this from enable collision to an overlap. So I want to get, what'll be a better way of doing it? I'll tell you what, actually, what we'll do. is we'll change this from a hit event to an overlap event. Actor overlap. Begin overlap. And then we'll do an end overlap. And we'll tell the character here to stop grinding. So we need to go in here, function, stop grind. And on stop grind here, we're going to clear the rail and set the movement mode back to falling. Like that. Was there anything else I need to turn back on? Oh yeah, put that back over there. Yada yada. Yeah. So I'm going to change that rail now. Make sure it's set to overlap only. So change it from block all to overlap all. That'd be better. Okay, so hopefully when I come off the end, I should have control back. Yep. I don't know why I'm not following it. Oh, wait, it's because I've got momentum and my character's flying off the end of it. Because I'm set to flying, the movement is going to take me off. If I change the character's flying deceleration, where are we? Flying, braking deceleration, whack that way up. Let's do 3,000. Like that. And that should be a bit more, hopefully a bit more accurate. If not, whack up a bit more. No, why is that not doing that? Like, I shouldn't be... I should tell my character to stop movement as well, I guess. So I'll start grind here, do that, stop movement immediately as well. So sort of stick to it. There we go. That felt a bit more with it. I don't know why it's still not turning around the corner though. It's too sharp of a turn for it. Why is that not doing that? I don't see why it would. Usually you just turn up the... Maybe I'll turn this up a bit higher. Let's do 10,000. Stop that from drifting. Yeah, still... Why? I think it's just too sharp of a turn. I don't know why that would be an issue though. Double check it is because of the sharpness of the turn. Yeah. It's not changing direction quick enough. So on that tick event, when we're changing this location here, maybe I want to do slightly ahead of the player character. So rather than doing active location, we'll add get velocity. Add the velocity to it. So it will look ahead and see what direction it should be going in. Yeah, no, that's too early now. Divide that by 2. Let's see what that does. Hmm. Oh, wait. World direction. No, it's better. But world direction. Yeah. I think you just need to look ahead a little bit for the world direction too. Let's try dividing it by 4. There you go. Okay. Right. And when you jump, we need to launch the character instead. So let's go to jump. Let's move this out of the way. Started jump's going to try and happen. It won't work. But then we go to rail here. Convert the valid date get. And here we're going to launch character. And we want to launch him in the direction that we're going in currently. So I want to get the rail that we're on, which is this thing. Okay. So we're going to take all of this. And we want to find direction as well. That one. And then we're going to add to it. I don't know. 1,000? Sure. And we'll override the Z there. But we don't want it to end the overlap. We want it to stay on the rail. So when it does stop grind, we want to check to see, are we launched in the air? If we are launched in the air, then we want to ignore the stop in the grind. Unless you want to stop grind. Okay, I don't know how you want to do it. Like, some games do it differently, like where it's like canned and you have to, like, you can transfer over quite smoothly. But some games, like Donkey Kong Bonanza, I've been playing that a lot lately. You can, when you leave the rail that you're on, you're free movement again. So I guess we're doing that. I guess. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So yeah, we launch up in the air and then back on. Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. So then, if we had 2 of these, doing this, and doing that. We can grind that round instead. Maybe a bit too much juice on the launching of the character. But there we go. Oh. I'm hitting all the bumpy bits on the side, but nonetheless, we've now got grind rails we can change over and switch on. If you want the player to build these at runtime, you need some way of the player to make splines, so they can build a system for that. That's a whole thing in itself. We're not going to do that today. But yeah. Yeah, so when I go back to that launch, we'll just change that down. Change that to 500. And you may want to do things like, if you do launch with a rail, you have a bit more control, so you can hop between them a lot easier. Oh. I probably want to take off that direction there. I want to multiply this direction as well. So we get that forward momentum launch rather than just a straight up launch, because that's what that's doing. So multiply that by a strength. Let's say 300. And then add the... What's going on here? Add the 500 vertical to it. So that way I'll still get... I'll retain that sort of like skidding velocity that's going on there. Yeah. Let's actually transfer from that one to this one. It's a bit longer. There we go. Yeah. Jump off. Ooh. Can't. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Hopefully that helps you out and that gives you some ideas and it's fun to make. So you can go nuts with it, make all sorts of things. Yeah. Next question. Let me have a look through, see what people are saying. Hey Ryan, hope things are good. This is from Asmund. I've always wanted to try Dismemberment system. You think you could show a quick example after this one? Not a quick example. So the way Dismemberment works is you need your character in full and you need your character all cut up. So you can detach bits and bobs from them. That's what you need to do. I don't have that. I'd have to go through and make a whole skeletal mesh and cut it all up. But that's how it works. And then when your character loses an arm, you can either hide the bone and then spawn in the physical object, which is the ragdoll of the arm flopping around, or leg or whatever you're doing. But yeah, you need a character all cut up, which I don't have. If I were to do it with a mannequin, you could, I guess, try and do it with the mannequin. Yeah, so if I had this mannequin here, make a static mesh version of it. I won't work, so I need to re-rig it. Yeah, pain in the butt. You need to cut this all up. You need to cut it all up, and then hide bones, and then spawn the floppy bit of the bone. Yeah, that's there. Could you do it with tags, where a hit scan could look for a tag and destroy the bone name? You can do that with the just with the normal hit trace. A hit trace returns the bone name based upon the physics asset. So if you don't know how this works on skeletal meshes, there's a physics asset assigned to it, and the physics asset is a load of like shapes. Which, why is it not showing it? Hold on, there you go. So when it hits one of these, it returns the name of this. So this is how you get the bones, and then you can detach the bones and things like that. So yeah, hit line trace hit scan will return the bone name anyway. It returns this. That's all. You can detach bones, but you can't detach the mesh that the bone is attached to, because the mesh is one thing, as far as I'm aware, currently anyway. I don't think you can disconnect the mesh apart unless it's already split up. No, I don't see it. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. You can, there are plugins you can dynamically slice a character mesh. Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure there are. There also like dismemberment things in there, but the typical way you see most games do it is it's like separation pieces, reskinned on. But yeah, you can detach. You can remove like the bones. That's not the problem. It's the mesh that's the problem. Because the engine sees it as one connected piece. And I don't think you can slice, by default, slice a skeletal mesh. Static mesh, yeah, but I don't think you can do it as the skeletal mesh. I could be wrong. Can you set up a toon shader like the Sly Cooper series? Man, I haven't thought about the Sly Cooper series for a long time. Yeah, sure. So, a toon shader. So you need a material, obviously. And let's... I've got a post-process volume in here. No. So, let's make that a post-process first of all. Add post-process volume, and we'll set that to that image there. Hopefully you're familiar with how post-process volumes work, so you can apply a material to it like that, and then you will make it unbound so it affects the whole map. So it's all black at the moment because I haven't put anything in the material shader. Whenever I start doing shader stuff, always start off with your post-process input 0, because that you need at least see something. So bring that into the fold like that. You then need to get the lighting information, split it up, and remove it from the color information. I'm going to try to remember how you do this. So if I take the color here and desaturate it, like that, that gets you the black and white version of the thing, okay? Like that. If I take the and then I want to subtract that, or no, divide it, sorry. If I divide it by that, I could be I'm going the wrong way about this. That gets us that out of it. Is it saturate or desaturate? Can't remember now. Let's saturate it or no. And we take another one of these. Man, I'm gonna have to look it up again. I can't remember what. No, I have to look it up. Hang on. One second. Yeah. See, I remember where it is. No, can't remember. Oh, hold on. Have I lost people? Can you hear me? No. Hold on. My levels have gone. I'm not entirely certain if you can hear me still. Can you hear me? Okay, still here. Okay. So I just saw this question quickly come up. James McAmore. Yeah, you just need to set up a company and just set up a solo developer, but you can just call yourself whatever you want. It doesn't matter too much. You can do it for free. Yeah. It doesn't need an LLC. It just needs a company. But the company can be called whatever you want. But yeah, you can just be a sole trader. Totally fine. Yeah. So I forgot how you get just lighting information just from post-process. Like with the normal material stuff, you can use the base color, but you can't do that in the post-process material. I don't think. It doesn't tend to like it. So it proves me wrong. Yeah, I don't think it's going to like it. So, but I've forgotten how you do it for this part. Or actually, I can't remember Sly Cooper. Hang on, let me just look at Sly Cooper again. Sly Cooper. I can't remember if Sly Cooper has cell shaded shading, or is it just blocked color? We'll see. Hold on. Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, in the UK it's called a sole trader. But yeah, the one before an LLC, you can be just that. It's totally fine, and they're usually free to set up. You don't have to do anything about that. Is this thing ever going to give me Sly Cooper stuff? Bum, 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 bum. Is it possible to attach UI widgets to 3D objects and have it transform with the object and still be interactable? An example would be a 3D book with interactive pages. No. I know what you're trying to do. A widget, the widget component doesn't allow for the idea of like deformation, like you would do like a mesh, or animating a mesh. If you were to do something like that, what I'd recommend you do is learn how to write text or widget stuff to a texture. So look up that stuff, you'll find that there. Yeah. Can you destroy tags in an actor during runtime? Destroy tags? You mean destroy tags? You can remove tags. Yeah. You can do that. Depends on where you store them. But yeah. Am I going to get like a... Yeah, so yeah, Game Jam Pipe Mac starts next week. Check it out. We live stream it, the results, on afterwards as well. I'll play through a lot of the games, give some feedback, and pick a winner on air. Oh. Well, I'll show you the blocked color way of doing this anyway. So, yeah. So to get that, we need to take this. We are multiplying it by 3. Rounding it, then dividing it by 3. And you get Everything's going very slow today. I mean, remove tag on an enemy actor when it gets killed to disable lock on. Remove tag on an enemy actor when it gets killed. So you're doing lock on via tag systems, I take it then. Okay. Sorry. I mean, yeah. Again, it depends on where you're storing the tag. Like, if you're talking about gameplay tags, you have a container. Just remove the tag from the container before you do the kill thing. There's nothing really special to go about doing it. Oh, that's horrible. That's not right. What have I done? Again, we need the... I need to separate the colour from the thing. Sly Cooper. Here we go. Finally. Jesus Christ. Let me, whilst doing that, look at this way and see if there's post-process, move lighting. Because otherwise, you make it a lit material. Why does everything go so slow? Let's take a look. Oh my god, right, anyway. I mean, you could do it via each material. It would help if the bloody internet would let me look at it properly. It may be a case that's not a post-process, it's not a toon shader per se, it's a actor shader that you want to do stuff. You can do like an outline shader. That's what that's got on its characters, for example. That's not a problem. But it looks like it would be per object you're doing it on. So, for example, if I took let's just take that out for now. The Wolf Among Us. So you want to do the black outline type thing? Is that what you're trying to do? That's simpler. So for that you need the scene depth. So go to scene texture, take the scene depth here, and we also need this screen position, because what you do is you go through pixels around each other by using blur sample offsets. And this would be a texel size. So, a texel being a three-dimensional pixel, essentially. That goes into there. So it takes basically a pixel all around itself. Okay. So we take the pixel position, add that, do that for each one. You can do it for all 8 if you wanted to, but I'm taking it simple. Like that. And then you want to get the scene depth for each one. So I'm going to copy that. So you're taking a scene depth position of every pixel in and around it. And if the average of all those pixels is so we have to do the average, so you add them all up. Okay. And then we take this is going to get the actual position of the current pixel, and we want to take the scene depth and say if it is if we divide it by itself, so take that and divide by Oh wait, you've got to divide this first. Divide that by 4, get the average. And then put that around it. Is it going to be a pain? What are you doing? Basically, the way it works is like, if you think about scene depth, so every pixel has a value of how far away it is from the screen. Oh, I've done that wrong, missed something out. You take the value of it, and you want to take the average value of all the pixels around it. If the average pixels around it scene depth is larger, so depth here, oh, we need to clamp it, that's probably what I'm doing now. And we probably want to lerp it as well. I don't know why it's being very slow. Is it not divide? Is it subtract? Might be subtract. Rather than wrong. So you take the scene depth of each pixel, its distance away from the camera, take the average of all the ones around it. If they are roughly the same, you want it to have no effect. So divide it by itself. Yeah, what have I missed? Yeah. Oh, I think it might be viewport UV. Might not be. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, viewport UV, not pixel position. Sorry. Yeah, that makes sense because the UV coordinate of each pixel rather than the actual pixel position. Yeah, because that number would be massive otherwise. But yeah, so here we're going to get every single pixel, and it measures its scene depth compared to its neighbours. So the ball here has a different scene depth than its neighbouring pixels, so therefore you get this effect where it picks up the highlights around it. And if you want it to apply that to, ooh, a spider on me, to the actual original image, you need to get the original image, which is the post-process input 0, and then you're going to lerp this. Lerp. And that'll be your alpha going into that. So the lerp here means that if it was black, it'll pick the original image. So that'll be A. If not, it'll pick B, which would be, in this case, we'll do a black outline. So let's do that there. Oh, it needs to be a 4 vector. My bad. Like that. And then you get this effect. I'll show you how to make it more sketchy looking. So it'll pick up those outlines around it. If you want to make it larger, you multiply the scene textual size here by however big you want it to be. So if I multiply it by 3, for example, you get thicker lines. Okay. 5, and so on. Okay. So you get that as how you get the outline. If you want to add a bit more interesting variation to it, so it's not like uniform out here, you can manipulate this 5 here to like a noise map if you wanted to. So if I put in a texture sample of a noise, where's my trusty old Perlin? No Perlin? Okay, fine. We'll just do that one. And we'll multiply that by 5. Bring that in there. And then the UVs for this, we'll just take the screen position. If you put UV. Oop. And you get this, like, it's thicker in some spots, but not in others, type thing. Might need to increase it a lot more. Let's do 10. because these are quite greyish colours. So as a thing you can do. Yeah, it's kind of cool looking effect. Yeah. And you can also combine that with the distance something is from you as well. So the ones that are furthest away, you can shorten their lines if you want it as well. So I don't know why it does that in that view, but never mind. So if I were to take the scene depth of this as well, so take this, take that, put UV coordinate in the scene depth there, and then take the color here, divide it by, I don't know, 2000. Clamp it. And then multiply that by 1 minus that. I'll explain this in a second if this works out okay. What you should see is if they're further away, they should get thinner. Make it a bit smaller than that. Yeah, because the scene depth here is going to give us the depth value. So if they're 2,000 units away, it will divide it by 2,000. So the ones furthest away will have a value of 1 or higher. Clamping it will make it 1. So it'd be 1 at the end. And then, oh, I didn't actually plug in the multiplier. And then 2 and 3. It's like 2 and 4. What's 2 and 4? Okay, we'll just mask this in. Really care about one of them. There you go. So yeah, the ones furthest away, 1 minus will flip it around. So the ones closest to you are going to be 1. Ones furthest away are going to be 0. So 0, the furthest ones are not going to be applied to whatsoever. So then you get this effect where it applies the lines, but only close to you, not far away. And if you want it still applying it, so hold on, I can't get off the bloody rail. If you still wanted to apply to it, you just take that and add to it. So we add 1. That way it still have a value of 1 at the end, but it's going to be double at the closest points. So it'll get extra thick lines close to you, but then the further away ones will get thinner. Yeah, as an offset starting point. So that's one thing you can do. Okay. What else can you do? You could also take the scene depth here. Take that, mask that to get just one value of it. Is this better than using the inverted hole method? 100% yes. This is a lot cheaper to do. Anything you can do on material is going to be cheaper than you can do in the meshes and things. Yeah, so I'll take the scene depth here. Let's say, let's divide that by 5,000. Okay, and clamp it. So that range of distance is going to be clamped to 5,000, but divided, so normalized between 0 and 1. I'm then going to multiply that by 5. I'm going to round it, then divide it by 5 again. And apply that to this as well. So if I take that scene depth over here, like that, and if I were to multiply it by this, you'll see some weirdness happening. We'll make it a bit better in a second, but if I do that, you get this sort of banded effect as well. involving scene depth. Okay, but then if you were flipping that around, so if I do 1 minus that, you get this cool fake shadowing effect. Everything looks banded around as like an effect here. Because it takes the scene depth out of it. And that's what I wanted to do, but with lighting, but I couldn't figure out how to separate the lighting from post-processing. That is the effect you do on all the materials of your objects to separate their lighting out. Yeah, so you can do that. And that's just multiplying it on. If I were to lerp it. So rather than multiply that by that, we have a lerp in. And that's our alpha for the lerp. And the post-process goes into the multiplier there, multiply by 1. And then we'll just make that 1 there. But this we multiply by 0.5. Now you won't get as dark with dark background. You'll just get like this sort of weird banded effect here. Like this. And if that straight line bothers you, you can mess around with it a little bit still. So if I go up here when I'm dividing it by 5,000, I can use that texture I was using before. Okay, and remember this texture is using UV coordinates, so you see how it does this weird movement thing like that. So if you put UV coordinates are being used for that, this is normalized between 0 and 1. All the colors, it's grayscale. So if I multiply this by 5,000, and then use that as a divider, might need. Oh no, should be alright. You now get wobbly lines. But then you can make that only apply that over a certain distance. So I can bring this up further here and do a lerp. We'll pick this as scene depth here. We'll take that. Divide that by 5,000. Clamp that. And that'll be the alpha. And then divide that by 5,000 there. So now it's going to fade it into the wobbly line. So the closest, you're not going to have it all over the place. It shouldn't be. Why are you doing it all over the place? Hold on. Maybe, no, this one. Crap, sorry. This one I want to be 2,000. That's better. Still doing it up front. It shouldn't be doing it up front at all. I don't know. You can have some fun with it. When you are building like shaders and materials, the trick for, to figuring out how they all work and making them quite more complex is bit by bit. So I'm adding slight variations to this. So that screen position viewport UV may not be really useful for me. I may not want it like that. So this will now lock it down into not using viewport UV. I don't know why it's still doing it up close. It shouldn't be doing that at all up close. Might need to add an offset to it. So this lerp here, the alpha, if I give that a slight offset, so if I add to it 0.5, like that. There you go, it's not doing it right up close now. it's like nice detailing. You can even animate them as well if you were to put in like sine waves and things like that. So if I go into my outline thickness, I would be commenting this if doing this properly. But if I want to take the lineage here that's going on here, so this multiplied by this, multiplied by 10, this 10 here. If I sine wave this, so do time sine and then lerp it. That's alpha into there. So we'll make that 10. And then we'll make this, I don't know, 5. You get sort of a pulsing nature to it. Bring that to 8. And that can be handled like, so it only does that when you're close to it as well. You can do that by using the camera position as well. Camera position, world space, you can use that to lerp it as well. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful things you can do. But yeah. Does that affect the particle system as well? Yes, it affects everything you see. Okay, we'll do like lightning round answers this time. So because we're about to end, so we don't have time to go. Yeah. So we don't have time to go through much more demonstration stuff. But let's have a quick see if I can answer things without anything else here. How would you go about creating a system? This is from Steezy G. How do you go about creating a system that accepts player input on a map before gameplay starts? That AI then follows when the gameplay begins. Okay, so the logic behind that is that you need your the inputs the players put onto the map, so the locations they put onto the map are going to be stored somewhere, usually in an array, because you want to be an ordered list, building a patrol path out for the AI. That ordered list needs to be stored somewhere that's going to be in the game, like the game mode, for example, or wherever you want to go. And the AI is just going to grab that array and start walking towards those points using AI move 2 and the get random point in navigable radius. Yeah, what I would recommend you do is your map is not in a separate level, it's in the same level, it just comes up at the start and then brings down. That way you don't have to worry about changing game modes or anything like that when you're changing levels. Hellman Gray, hi sir, I want to make this. Character walks into a map, blah blah, and then coming in his office and goes to his chair and press the E key and camera goes mission screen and gamer to his office task on his desk. I'm not entirely certain what you mean by that, but you're making, if you're doing a menu where you're looking at your desk and things like that, you'll be making use of multiple camera setup and then doing button pushes on the level blueprint to reference those cameras and doing set view target with blend. Set view target with blend will allow you to blend to each camera as you move them around. Pipe Mac, what is a good practice when placing static meshes for an environment? I usually just place them and group them, but when I saw it at Unreal Fest, this was bad, although they didn't explain why. Yeah, okay, we actually touched upon this recently as well. So if you're placing the same mesh over and over and over again, use an instant static mesh instead. So if you just go into here and search for instance static mesh, where are you? No, in it. Oh, you might just make it it is a component that you can add on the thing, so maybe make it a component. But anyway, so if I did this thing over here, for example, and I added a instance stack mesh component to it. Not skin mesh. Oh god. Oh my god. Instanced static mesh. There we go. Yoink. Yoink. I'll take that mesh there and put that onto here. And then I'd go down to instances, which is down here somewhere. Add instance. This is just a transform of each instance. So I can rotate those around like that and add instances in for them. Yeah, add another one in. You should be able to select each one. If not, you just change that there. There is a way to select individual ones. Instance static meshes are the best way to do it. That's the more efficient way. Grouping them, you can do that too. Don't do what I see even like professionals do as well. Don't do things where you're making an actor and you add a, pardon my French, crap ton of components to it for all the different meshes it's going to have. Don't do that. Components are relatively expensive for it to load up, and an actor can't load. An actor will load sometimes before the components have. So therefore, you might run into some issues when you start referencing those components, or it just takes a long time to load. Don't do that. Very wasteful. If you are going to combine them. It's like as a single model if you need to. But don't do like I've seen, especially the kits that you see out there. Yeah, just don't have a load of them in there. I've seen some really terrible ones that are filled with tons and tons of stuff. Can you use foliage with instant static meshes? Foliage is already an instant static mesh. That's what foliage is. The foliage actor is an instant static mesh. When you're doing that with this, it creates an instant static mesh for it. That's what they are. That's why when you click on them, it highlights all of them. Question from A. I have a question. I want the player move only by moving chairs, like office chairs with a wheel. I want to make them tied to the chair. Do I use physics? Or is there another way to make this work? Yeah, just make the chair character, or pawn rather, to be more specific. It's just like a car. Yeah, there's just a pawn, and when you're applying inputs to it, you're applying actions to it in that sense. If you want to do it with physics, you can do. If you want to do it with just pawn movement, you can do. Totally up to you and how you want it to feel. If you are going to do it physics-based, obviously you need to have wheels on it and set up with the collisions and collision presets and things like that. But it works just like a car. Okay, so if you want to see an example, just check out my kart racer. You can repurpose that knowledge into making an office chair that you can control and spin around in. The character on the chair is inconsequential. They're just like the driver in the car. They're just there to look pretty. They don't actually do anything. Maybe animate, but that's about it. Yeah, instant static meshes. If you want to be super anal about trying to get your all level into instant static meshing, that's the best way forward for it. It is a pain. And you can take the lazy way out if you wanted to. Like for example, in my game Mimic, we've got a wall that's made up of loads and loads of panels. It's far more efficient if they were all split into static meshes because they're all the same, just copy and pasted all over the place. So it's just one actor, but it's got a load of instance meshes in it. It's got a load of far less data. Yeah, because every single one of these meshes here stores tons of information. It stores all this information: transform, the mesh, the materials, the physics options, the collision options, lighting, mesh. It stores all this data. Yeah. Instant static meshing just says just reuse the same settings for every single one of these. And that's what it does. So it loads up that data once. Can you make a point of interest system and filtering tutorial? Yeah, I can add that to the to-do list of things that people have asked for. Yeah, I'll add that to a list. Can't do it right now. We're about to end, but yeah. Yeah, that's why I do it Insight. I like to stream me making things because I like to also show people that most of the process of developing a game or developing any sort of assets is almost trial and error-esque, where you are trying out ideas, seeing if they work, and building naturally from that. I like to show that natural progression rather than going, here's a polished view of how we do it. I like to showcase that raw part of it and say, okay, this is how we're going to approach this problem, and explain that process. So yeah, I've always liked doing a streaming for that reason. This is tripping my eyes out. Let's let's just go to the full camera here. Yeah, I'll close that now because that's eye is funny. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it looked like that in preview. Not a clue. How do you approach spinning a wheel for a prize, specifically using a form of mesh instead of UI? If you're doing a mesh, I would look at the forward vector of it. Depends on which way you have it, upright or on the side, whatever. Basically, a direction, okay? And I'll then look at the direction, work out its rotational, you're at 360 degrees, divide that by however many segments I have, and that'll give me the index of which way it's going. I just dot product it around, give me that value. That's how I build that out. That might be a good one to make a single video for, to be honest. But yeah, just get the forward vector of it, dot product it to its current rotation vector, and then you can work out what way it's pointing. Will you be going into more depth of motion matching in future videos? Yes. So the second video is out on Patreon at the moment. I can't remember what that goes over. A while ago we released it, but the third video goes on to about how to do gating. So we look at the measurement between the feet and measure how they should time their feet apart like that. So we're showing that, and that'll then in turn go into turning character and doing stop starts and introducing that concept and how that kind of understanding that. With the motion matching videos, I really wanted to do something that others aren't doing, which is actually explain how the hell motion matching actually works. My belief is if you know how it works, then you know how to use it better, because you're not just copying and pasting or just building upon something that someone else has already built, which can lead to lots of problems. So yeah, we'll be going through how gate is measured. It's very simple, gate measuring. But yeah, we'll be looking at that sort of stuff too, bring that in. Yeah, stop starts and turns are the major ones we were looking at. After that, don't know. We'll see. Yeah. How can I control the center of mass to make it more balanced? The center of mass isn't as just a variable you can change. So you can set it to wherever you want. On any physics actor, that is. It's a variable. In a physics actor, you'll find a variable called center of mass. Just change that. You're welcome, Pipe Mac. You're welcome, mate. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. I've been doing all sorts of... I've been in lots of private one-to-ones this week. It's been a very busy week, one-to-ones. Speaking of which, if you do want a one-to-one private session, help with your game, help teach you something in particular, whatever it may be. There is a summer discount code for any bundles or sessions that you purchase from my website. Just go to the website and use the code SUMMER20, that's SUMMER20, and you'll get 20% off any order you place down before end of August. You don't have to use them before end of August, but you can just buy them in bulk now and then use them whenever you like. So yeah, check out that system there. If you want private one-to-one sessions, lots of people have been taking advantage of it, which is really good. As I say, this week's been a busy week. I've had back-to-back sessions pretty much all week long. So it's been good helping people out and explaining a few things to them, and even explaining things like design techniques. We're talking a lot about like story and how we tell stories in games a lot this week. It's been a big one. Been doing a lot about gameplay tags this week as well with people. Yeah, lots of interesting things people have been doing. Do you get game concept brainstorming sessions or just development sessions? Yeah, we do both. And so there's as I mentioned, I'll help people talk through the design part of their game as well and give you advice on that, or things to consider. And that also applies like business side of things too, and that approach there. But yeah, it can also help with any aspect of the game development process. Can help with really. Yeah. So yeah, do check it out. We've got a few things in the works as well. We are soon, don't know when, but are going to be. So we have private one-to-one sessions, but we're also going to dive into an actual. We've got courses coming out as well. So the survival game course been heavily delayed for all sorts of reasons, but it is coming. It's just a lot bigger job than we originally anticipated. But the survival, it is done, and we attempted to upload the project files early, but I think we'll wait until the series is out first. But the survival game core series will be coming out hopefully sooner rather than later. The Designed by Community series continues over on Patreon. We've got episode 4 out tomorrow for those guys, and it's 10 episodes in total. Seriously, some of them get pretty wacky towards the end. A couple of them had me really stressed out. So I do recommend checking that out. It's a fun series to see me just sort of stress out trying to figure out how to make things work. Like there was a point where everything was kind of like working together and it kind of could be a good game. And then I think it was episode 6 or 7, I can't remember now. A suggestion made it made it out of the bowl, which kind of screwed me over. And nightmare. From an education background where they drill abstraction, interfacing all the time, delegates, etc., should I try to keep things abstract in UE5, or is it different to other languages like C#? It's the classic, it depends. Abstraction works really good because it's the most flexible response you have. But if you're going for a really clean design and you know exactly what you need to do and what you want to do, you can avoid that completely. It's always going to be a lot easier, cheaper, and better if you have direct referencing to different things rather than relying on interfaces or casting or things like that. It'd be good for that. When is the next State Machine video out? Publicly or Patreon? Patreon, hopefully soon. Publicly, I can't remember if the public one is up to date with the Patreon one. I can't remember now. We had a weird week where we had to go into hospital and things, but the next one for that should be out soon. I'll have to double check. It should be out soon. Any courses you will recommend for someone who wants to make, I'm guessing, a game with no experience? With no experience, I mean, there's so I can't recommend any. There's so many out there. I've got plenty on mine as well to check out. rather than look for the course content to make the game you want to make, go for the one that's going to teach you how to make it better. So look at who's teaching it, the way they teach, and see if you like the way they teach. Because there are some out there which literally just go, click here, do this, click here, do this, click here, do this, and bang, you've made Pac-Man. It's far better to learn why you do things in that certain way, rather than how. It's much more important. So look for those ones I recommend. But other than that, no. What did I think of Genie 3? What the hell is Genie 3? I don't know what Genie 3 is referring to. I did finish DK Bonanza last week, and I started a banana-less run. And now I'm up to the last boss without a single banana, which is super cool. The last boss turns out pretty hard when you have no health upgrades or strength upgrades. Pretty pain in the butt. But yeah, other than that, I've hit a stop there. Also, it's AI thing. I don't know. I haven't used it or looked at it. Where's Genie 3? Let's have a look. I'll go back to share my screen so we can see what hell I'm looking at. Yeah. Okay, the problem with like when I see stuff like this is that's not a game level. That's just so interactive wallpaper. There's nothing to do that. Like the game part doesn't exist in it. It's just interactive for the sake of interactive. Same with this. Yeah, it gives the illusion of a game because it's interactive and you've got a character and you're moving around. But it's not a game, so you will never use this for game stuff. Like this as well is again not useful at all. So I was actually talking to someone today actually about AI. The AI, the way I describe AI use to people is the arguments you hear for AI have happened time and time again in the past for various different things. The calculator came out and people were like, oh, there's no longer any need to learn math. Then computers came out. Okay, we won't need a calculator anymore. Then a phone came out. Okay, we won't need computers anymore. All those things still exist. All those things are still running well and have people working on them, using them, businesses out of them. Nothing gets replaced, really. The thing that people are worried about is like, oh, it's going to take jobs or whatever. I think AI, you have to remember, is just a tool. And it's a tool to help speed up the process. You wouldn't ever use it as like a one-click button. Like, okay, make me this whole entire thing. Boom, done. That's not how it should work. What it should do is like, I need you to get me 70% of the way there, and I need to do the last 30%. That's what AI tools are really good for. Is that sort of cost-cutting, efficiency-cutting process. It makes that bit quicker. And it's pretty good at doing that. What it's not very good at is being the creative or taking that to the end result. But yeah, and when people had like yeah, I use ChatGPT for like redrafting my work. So I'll write up something, for example, and I'll say, okay, reword this to sound better for a presentation pitch or whatever. And like, okay, now, and it's pretty good at doing that. Now the thing is with all this stuff that AI can do, you need to still verify it and make sure it actually works well and can do stuff correctly. So you still need to know your stuff because you need to verify it that it's done correctly. The AI 3D model things are getting better, but still a long way off. For example, they're not very good at determining what should be detached or separated or handled differently. So, for example, if you gave give me a 3D model of a Tonka truck, it'll give you a truck, but the wheels are going to be part of the model stuck to it. You have to like go in, cut the wheels out, put them in. But again, it gets you like 60% of the way there. You have to do the last part, which is separating the wheels out, retopologizing them, putting them in, and then making them separate, rigging them, all that stuff. So it is a sort of like you have to still take it to the end goal. You just have a shortcut to help you speed up that first initial process. Which, if you are an individual or a small team, that sort of stuff is super valuable because you don't have teams of people to generate stuff quickly for you. It's just you, so you need something else to help you with that. So it does help in that regard. You can use Darude Sandstorm. Is there anything similar to JSON structure in Unreal in case standard use structs aren't flexible enough? You can use JSON. JSON's in there. I think there are plugins for it, but I think it's actually a thing you can just turn on in the plugin section already. I've closed it now. I can't look. But yeah, check that out. But yeah, JSON strings. Yeah, I use them in Mimic. JSONs. In Mimic, they're being used to capture the latest news posts and return that data back, and then it can fetch the URLs for the images and things like that. Whilst we're here, let's play a little game of Guess the Game. I haven't played it for a week. Okay, let's take a look what we've got going on here. So, I want to say Nintendo game, like maybe a Mario or Zelda. Possibly top-down DS, maybe. 3D top-down. I don't think it's Zelda because it doesn't look as blocky, but we'll type in Zelda anyway. We'll do Link's Awakening. No. It's a texture of some kind. 69% Metacritic though. That's pretty poor. I have no idea. Are we sure that's not Zelda? Or is that Pokemon? Is that a Pokemon symbol? 69 3DS, yes, 3DS. What the hell would that be? Is that meant to be a Pokeball, do you think? Do you think it's a Pokeball? Pokemon, I can't remember what 3DS games were on the Pokemon. What was it? Sun? Was it? Sun and Moon? Sun and Moon? I'm not going crazy. Oh, there's so many Pokemon games. I'm not going crazy. There was a Pokemon Sun and Moon game, wasn't there? I'm not going nuts. It was one. I'm not going crazy. There was a Sun game, wasn't there? Oh, screw it. I know it's not right, but we'll do that one for now. Okay, so it is in Pokemon franchise. Yeah, it was Pokemon. I'm not going crazy. It was Pokemon Sun, wasn't it? I'm not going nuts. Roguelike. Roguelike? Okay, RPG and turn-based makes sense, but roguelike? Pokemon? Mystery Dungeon? Is that? I haven't played Mystery Dungeon. Is that a roguelike? No. Yeah, definitely Pokemon. Okay, Super Mystery Dungeon. I don't know which one was on... There you go. I didn't know what was on 3DS. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Yay. Yeah, we're just about to finish. I thought I'd come in and do one of these bad boys. That looks like Assassin's Creed, maybe? I feel like I've seen this bit before. Let's take a look at Assassin's Creed. I'm gonna guess like a Assassin's Creed 2. No. That okay. I'm guessing that's a PS2 game. That looks like something military-esque. An Asian building. Call of Duty. Let's try. I mean, I don't know. It could be any of them. Call of Duty 2, World of War. No, it looks too modern for World of War. Let's try. Call of Duty 2. No. 360 PS3. Oh. Half-Life. Oh no, it would be on PC. Oh, that does look like Half-Life. Half-Life 2, Episode 2? No. Overkill. Oh! Army of 2. Army of 2. Ah, which one though? I'll go for the first one. Hey! Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, Pokemon Sun and Moon was a game. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going crazy. Don't know why it didn't come up in the list though. Because it's shite, probably. We've got a little frog thing over here. A frog statue. Nintendo? Try a Xenoblade. That's always a good one to go for, I guess. Let's go 3. No. Is it Sonic the Hedgehog? Although 90% that doesn't sound like Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, I'm getting Sonic the Hedgehog vibes from this thing. Sonic the Hedgehog. Generations, maybe? Let's just do skip the Sonic Generations. No. Series PS5. Oh, it's a modern one. Oh, shit. Switch 2? Oh. The hell? It doesn't look like an Xbox Series or PS5 game, does it? It's this frog thing that drives me nuts. How is that? Switch 2 PC? What the shit is this? Got more statue things down here. I haven't got a clue. No, I don't think it's Zelda. Because they've got all this metallic stuff going on. Multi-platform. It's the Switch 2 part that's driving me nuts. I'm trying to think of multi-platform games on Switch 2. There's Cyberpunk, but that doesn't look like Cyberpunk. Trying to think what the hell else is Grounded. No, I don't think it's Grounded 2. No, I don't think it's Grounded 2. Is it possible to make a game big as Outlast 2 and new without optimization problems? Yeah, probably can. Yeah. Yeah, probably can. I'll try Grounded 2. That's good, not. But I don't think Grounded 2's not on the Switch though. It didn't say Switch 1, it just says Switch 2. So it's something on the Switch 2 exclusively. Hang on, let me have a look. I'm gonna cheat. FF7? I don't think FF7's on the Switch 2. Ninja Gaiden? No, that's the cartoony one. Oh! Split Fiction. There you go. There we go. Split Fiction. Yeah. Not bad. Zelda Tears of Kingdom. Yeah. 82%. It's quite old school. Could be very blown up. I don't know. Can you use UE5 tutorial for UE4? Yeah, for most part, yeah. There are going to be some things that don't exist in UE4. But yeah. Is Rebirth on the Switch too? I don't remember that. I'll have to have a look. What does that look like? It's not a Zelda game because that'd be yellow. So, again, looks Nintendo-esque. Hear me out. Crazy one. Yeah. Star Fox Adventures. I talk about left field. Fuck bloody guess. Man. Gungeon? Oh, yes. Bum 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 bum. Venman, I'm trying to target another client multiplayer game and have the target health bar level I name the one targeted when they change. How would I achieve this? Be event dispatcher, passing through that information. So when you target something, you're sending that information back via event dispatcher. Typically. There are a few ways of doing it, but yeah, you need to send it back to the player in some kind of fashion. Got a sort of cell shaded-esque look to it. There are 2 live streams? There are 2? Should be 2. How do I fix the replication for skeletal mesh changes so that someone just joining the level can see those changes that are made before they join? How do I fix the mesh changes so that someone just joining the level? The replication of a mesh change, it won't, rep notify no won't work. When it's created on begin play on the client side, you check if it's local, if it's a Switch has authority. If it doesn't have authority, you want to go to the server, get a call, make a server call, which then fetches any information that should be updated, like the skeletal mesh, for example. I don't know. Let's skip that forward a bit. Elements Fire. This looks familiar, but I can't think why. I don't know. PC? Oh, wait, is this? Is this Spore? No. A climbing game. Oh, Peak. Yeah. Trying to interface right now. Thanks anyway. Interfacing. Yeah, you can do interfacing. Called that. Yeah, that'd be totally fine. As well, another way to do that. This looks like some sort of cage of some kind. Jurassic Park. I don't know which one. It looks quite an old game here. So Jurassic. Jurassic Park 3. Island Attack. No. It looks like a GoldenEye-esque or Perfect Dark, like something from that era, but it's high resolution texture, so something a bit more modern than that. James Bond Agent Under Fire. We'll go or everything or nothing. We'll do everything or nothing. Yeah. PC, yeah. Kind of like a Half-Life-esque game. I don't think it's Half-Life. No. FPS stealth and horror. The horror aspects throw me off. Yeah, a fairly old one by the looks of it as well. No, the Rep Notify is not. Rep Notify just sends it across, no. At least I don't think a Rep Notify does. I haven't tested it. I don't think it does. FPS stealth and horror. I have no idea. 2001. Still no idea. Oh. Alien. Versus Predator. Oh, which one is it? Yeah. Predator 2. Dum 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 dum. Okay, so this is something that's made of fabric. We're gonna go for Yoshi's Woolly World. Oh, ooh. Nice. I know games too much. Yeah. Nice. Something high res, so HD of some kind. Can't make out anything here. Skip it forwards. It's weird. It looks high res, but it doesn't look high detailed. Like it's quite low poly designs, but then I don't know. Is it no? Oh no, I definitely don't recognise that. GameCube. Yeah. Okay. The hell was that symbol for? I never played a game that had that symbol. It's not a Mr. Mosquito game. That wasn't GameCube, was it? No. Action puzzle platform. I have no idea what game this is. Oh, that rings a bell. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, Chewy Rubbo. Yeah, we never got that. Elden Ring? No. 91%. It's pretty good. Dark Souls. 3. No. PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Wukong thing. What's it called? Wukong. I don't know what they call it. I don't know. Spell it. Wukong. Black Myth Wukong. No. Oh, Expedition 33. Yeah. The Jessers that flew. I don't know. Don't know. Still don't know. 64%, so not great. You are here. Xbox, PC, PS2. Action sci-fi. The hell is this? No idea. Oh, is that Bond? No, that's not Bond. The Matrix. Ah. How's that The Matrix? I guess that's the office where he worked. Yeah. This bit's misleading. I guess it does look like Keanu. Shame. Looks pretty, but I don't know what it is. Don't know. Be compliance, sure. I don't know anything about furry games, believe it or not. A shooter, police in a police academy. Just quit police. I'm going to say Battlefield. Hardline. No. Christmas. Is that Division? Yeah. Oh, Nights into Dreams. Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. I recognise that Division because of this thing. It's got that sort of holographic look to it. It's Christmas time, and there's a guy with a gun. So, filter it down, you get Division. Not a clue. It's not Daggerfall, is it? Daggerfall looks worse than this, I think. Yeah. PS1. Oh God, I don't know. No, some kind of RPG. Suikoden. Yeah, I've never played Suikoden, so I don't know. No idea. Black and white. No idea. Trek to Yemen. You never would have got that. That looks familiar. Bug thing with that thing. I'll take it back. That doesn't look familiar. What the hell is this? 2012. Oh, is this Amalur? Actually really liked Amalur. I thought it was a great game. Just way too much shit in it. It's too long. Lots of fetch quests, lots of side quests you don't need to do. what would be the thing they showed in this? Yeah. Interesting concept. I like the story concept for it as well. So the story concept for it was quite neat, in that you were playing a character. So in this world, everyone knows their day of death. They know how they're going to die. They've seen everyone sees the future and sees how they die. That is a thing that everyone knows. However, you're someone who's been resurrected, and therefore you can now you're interfering with other people's fates, and therefore when people should die, because you're the anomaly, that's no longer the case anymore, and so they don't die, and it kickstarts this whole thing. It's a really interesting concept. I really liked it. I like the world of it, like the style of it, but it just didn't hit off. Yeah, do recommend checking that out. Cake. What's that cake? No idea. No, it's a Mario game. Wii U and Switch. Mario Party? Because we had a cake thing. I mean, I guess it's a Mario Party. I have no idea which one was the latest one before Super. 10? No? Oh, Kart. Mario Kart. 8. Deluxe. Yep. Not a clue. Still not a clue. PS2. I'd say they look familiar, but I don't know where from. I beat them up on the PS2. Oh no. I'll take it back. I don't recognise this. Oh, is that God? Is it called God Hand? Yeah, God Hand. Never played it. None that's cool. Top down isometric with this sort of style. Minish Cap. Nope. Nope. No idea. No idea. No idea. Oh, wait. Oh. Cassette something. Cassette Beasts. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, God Hand, you got it right. Yep. It looks too bright for The Last of Us, like too saturation. 82%. Hell is all this stuff going on over here? It's like a Final Fantasy-esque type. There's a bear. Oh, Tekken. Oh, I have no idea which one though. 7. Cool. Right, yeah. Pure guess. Nope. No idea. Oh, Onimusha. I can't spell it though. Onimusha. Oh god, which one? 2001. I can't which one is the original one. Did it have a thing on it? Yeah, it's Onimusha, but I can't tell you which one. I never played them. Onimusha 2. Onimusha Warlords. Yep. Lovely. Nope, not a clue. Yeah, I've never played that. I think it's on Game Pass now. Did anyone else, by the way, check out Grounded 2? Yeah. Let us know what you think. I'm enjoying it. The problems I have with Grounded 2 are the same ones I had with Grounded 1, in that at the start of the game it's very difficult. You die a lot. You like to get good, meaningful weapons and armor. You basically have to throw yourself at enemies to get it. It's a bit of a pain. But once you get to that point, it's a little bit smoother sailing. But then you eventually hit another brick wall, which is still too damn difficult. And it's like, oh my god, like the orc beasts, they just constantly just rip you apart. So yeah, same problem as I had with the first game. Do not recognise any of that. Nope. EX, never heard of it. See, I'm now getting distracted by all this stuff. Oh, this is Cyberpunk. Oh, that's not how you spell Cyberpunk. Punk. Oh no, not Cyberpunk. Avalanche. Oh, oh shit. What year was it? 2019. Not Fallout, is it? No. Avalanche. What? I'm trying to think what games Avalanche have made. Deathloop, but I don't. That doesn't look like Deathloop. What did they make before Deathloop? Oh, there was another game they did. What was it called? Oh, it was a shite one no one liked. Rage 2? Yeah. What's the best way from Death Row? I love to know the best way to make assets like walls and doorways. Should I make them blend out of UE5? The blender, those sort of tools are going to give you a better output than UE5, just because they're more designed. Probably they're designed around modeling, so they have a lot more tools available to you. The modeling tools in UE5 are really useful for small edits or block out type things. So if you can do it in Blender, do it in Blender or Maya, whatever you want to use. Yeah, no. Otherwise, yeah, just do that. Oh, I've meant to have a meeting with someone. I missed the meeting. God damn it. No, I have to call that back person. I totally forgot I had a meeting today. About an hour ago. My bad. I have to rebook that one in. Not a session, it was a one-to-one thing. It was just a meeting. Yeah, good night. Is it possible to replicate actors for only specific players on a team? No. You have to replicate everyone. You can make it so it can check to see if those replication efforts should take place, maybe. It depends on what you're replicating, but yeah. Yeah, you're welcome, Hamsky. You're welcome. I've been playing Grounded 2. DK Bonanza said we'll be doing a banana-less run. That's been super cool challenge to do. I've been also... there goes that game idea. Yeah, it happens. If you want something to appear only, you can make it relevant to people, but that's it. So relevancy is how you get around that, is if you want to make it relevant for some people but not others. But you can't do it. It's either relevancy is either off or on. You can't do it per team. Sivanesh, hey Ryan, love your videos. I had a question I was hoping you could help with. I want to make an event where the character reaches a certain point, the character then does short hops. Short hops like crossing. An event where the player reaches a certain point. Short hops. I mean, I don't know what your logic, what you're trying to do with the short hops, but a simple animation doing it would be fine. If it's like a canned thing, if it's going to be a bit more dynamic, animate one hop and then totally do as many as it needs to do. Yeah, it depends on highly on what you're trying to actually do with the hops and things. Hamski, serious question here. Try Unreal Engine 4272 with low end PC, then buy a high end PC, or wait, buy a high end PC and then learn latest Unreal Engine version. You can learn like there's a lot of stuff you should be learning about how to use Unreal. Will still apply in Unreal 4 as it does in Unreal 5. Unreal 5 will have a lot of extra features and things to learn. So like things, like the more modern features like Niagara and Nanite and things like that. They're a bit different. But if you want to learn blueprint logic, a lot of that blueprint logic is still the same. Slightly different nodes. Sometimes you get more in latest one, but yeah, just go ahead. Teams of two completing challenges when only one person can see the objective and the other has to guide them, and then each team competes with each other for points. I mean, yes, you can hide things, but you have to then do a check to see whether or not that thing should be visible on that client. So everything should be running through the server calls and checking on the client if they have permission to. So you can do it. There's just no automated way of saying replicate this, replicate that. You're always replicating. It's just the actual, the event's replicated, not the content of the event. You filter that out on that side. But anyway, I must go. It is very late here. Didn't realise the time. We got distracted there trying to guess the game. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for our live stream. We're back again next week. We hopefully will do a playtest tomorrow of Mimic. We'll see how I fare with tiredness and everything. But, yeah. Anywho, take care, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.